Hi, my Stitchy friends. My name is Heather. My pronouns are she, her. My channel is the 20-Minute Stitcher, and thank you for clicking play on my video. Today is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025, and this is my February recap video. So my last video I actually filmed on February 8th. So I covered kind of the first week of my February stitching in that video, so I won't repeat here. But this is most of February. So I hope you all are doing well. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I strive to make this channel as welcoming as possible to everyone and as accessible as possible to everyone. So thanks for clicking play. Clicking play. If you like what you see and all my weirdness, I hope you'll subscribe and come back and spend some more time. I do upload on a monthly schedule, and I try to keep my videos 45 minutes or so less, just because time is precious. So thanks for spending some of your precious time with me. Let's get right into things. We will start as I always do. I will share my Notion template and I'll give you kind of a quick peek into my month of February. So this is my February stitching. This one's going to be a little off. I did a lot of paper chart stitching in February. So all of that is captured here. You can see that I stitched for a total of 16 unique days. According to Notion, I stitched 1,561 stitches. You can see a lot of blank cells here, though. I did a lot of paper chart stitching that I didn't bother to count the stitches on. If I had to guesstimate, I would say that stitch count number has got to be at least 2,500, maybe even over 3,000. I had one finish in February, not the one you see here on the screen. I did finish Mari's Doggo the very beginning of February. I shared that in my last video, but I also essentially finished another one. It has 2 buttons that need to go on it that just arrived this week. So the stitching is finished. I'll show it today as a finish. No new starts. I am focused on working on my whips this year, though I will have 1, maybe 2 new starts in March. So all in all, pretty good stitching month for me. I have the finish I'm about to show you is my 3rd finish for 2025. Let me cut back over to full screen, and making some good progress on my whips. So let's go ahead and rock and roll right into the stitching. So the first thing I will share for you is my finish, or at least my stitching finish. This is Easter Kitty Moon by Stitchy Kitty. And I stitched the actual moon, not the little charm that goes with it. This was on just a piece of scrap, like kind of rose pink Lugana even weave. And here is my stitching finish. He's adorable. I've decided it's a he. And you can see I have the pattern calls actually for a jelly bean button, which I couldn't find anywhere. So I actually found an Easter egg button in a similar color that I think will work here. And then there's a little flower that goes on the hat. And then this will be done once those 2 buttons are added. My son is playing Rocket League on the Xbox in the other room. If you hear screaming in the background, I asked him to be quiet, but you know, he's 13. So apologies for background noise if it is disruptive. So that is my one finish. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whips to share. So let's go ahead and get into them. These are not in the order I worked on them. They're just in the order that they're in my pile. So the first whip that I will share is Nevermore by Lila's Studio. I worked on this for like a hot minute. I put maybe 100 some odd stitches in. If you are not familiar with the chart, this is what it looks like. It is gorgeous. It is, you know, sort of the primary, the repeating, I don't know, the chorus stanza, I suppose, from The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. I am stitching this all in Forbidden Fiber Co. Forbidden Fiber Co. did a floss conversion of it, and I am stitching it on a Forbidden Fiber Co. fabric that I used to know the color of. If you're interested, let me know. I will look it up. It's like a wintry name. It is a 25 count, and I am stitching it 1/1 with the Forbidden Floss Co. Conversion. So here is where I am now. Literally the only thing I added from the last time I shared this with you, which admittedly was eons ago, is this little bit right here. So as I said, I literally added maybe 100 stitches to it. And then I got distracted by something else. So, which happened a lot in February. My stitching is going to be sort of in much shorter bursts for the near future, simply because outdoor soccer, or excuse me, rec league soccer will be picking up here shortly. My son plays on travel and rec. Softball season for my daughter is starting. My son has decided he wants to run track this spring. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time at ball fields and soccer pitches and tracks. So we'll see. All right, next whip is Hope Angel by Hinzeit. And this one was one also that I have not stitched on in ages. This is being stitched on a 16 count like cream Aida that I've had in my stash for forever. Here is where this chart is now. So what I added is I decided to just start working on this outline that goes kind of all the way around. So I added sort of from here over this way and up, and then also around the wing. So not a ton here either. This was also just one stitching session that she got some love. But this is on my list of charts that I would like to finish this year if I can. So yeah, so there's that. Next whip is Quirky Quaker Lobster. I do not have a photo of this, but it is from Darling and Whimsy Designs. I don't want to show the chart. This was a freebie chart from Stitch North in 2024, so last year. And they gave us the chart and a little piece of fabric and a needle and the floss, the Brennan needle floss for it, which love. This was my first time stitching with Brennan needle floss. I bought so much of it at Stitch North. It's so beautiful. And I don't think I have a before picture from this, but that's okay because literally I had, I think, 6 stitches, so it wasn't even worth sharing. But here's where he is now. And here's the funny story. The 6 stitches that I started, when I decided to pick this up again and work on it, I went the wrong direction. So I had to unpick all of them and put them back in so that the variegation was going the right way. But there is the beginning of our little lobster dude. So again, this also was just one stitching session. One of the reasons I have a lot of whips this month is a lot of them got like 1, maybe 2 stitching sessions, except for Easter Kitty Moon. I went ham on that and was like, I'm finishing this thing. So I spent 5, 6, 7 days on Easter Kitty Moon. Another whip I worked on in February and hit kind of a milestone that I'm super proud of is the Dragons and Apples Sal by Quaternion Creations. I am obsessed with this chart. I love it so much. I have been stitching on it, no kidding, for almost 2 years now, and stitching is a very loose term. So here is what the finished chart will look like. It is stunning. It tells the story of a baby dragon being born and this girl befriending it. And then there is also a companion piece with the dragon fully grown and the girl. It is also stunning, and I really want to stitch them both, but I have to make progress on this first. And for the longest time, I have just not gone anywhere on this. But I did sit and, sneak peek at what's coming next. But I did sit and I finished the first block. I did share this on Instagram, so if you follow me over there, I'm also the 20-minute stitcher there. You've seen this already. I mean, just look at it. So I am not using the charted colors, though I am using the charted colors as inspiration. So as you saw from the picture, the chart is charted in black, gray, and red. But I wanted to stitch this. This was the first chart that I ever bought silks for. So I purchased Dinky Dice silks for this. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Portobello by Bestitch Me, or Portobella by Bestitch Me. Stop it. Quit it. Here we go. But I also loved this variegated black and gray and purple. So I purchased that as well, and I'm using that just for the borders, like the outside borders. And then everything else is Dinky Dye, sort of my Dinky Dye conversion of the called for floss. It's stunning, and I can't wait to work on this some more this month. Love it so much. Next whip is Modern Folk Embroidery's Italian Pincushion. This is the memorial stitch that I am doing for my mother-in-law who passed away about 1.5 years ago. I'm going to rechart the words. The words are more of like a housewarming call, but I loved that. So my mother-in-law immigrated from Italy as a teenager, so I loved that the chart was inspired by Italy and it by, you know, just sort of Italian what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. Messages, I guess, idioms. And I don't have a picture, or maybe I do have a picture of where it was before. Let me see here. Actually, I probably do actually have a picture of where it was before. Yeah, I do. So I think it was here before, yes. Because I think I was talking about this in my last video that I had to unpick a bunch of stitches because I put them in the wrong place. So this was the picture at that time, sort of unpicked. And here is where I am now. So I finished the one bird and got a good start on the other one. This is being stitched on Morning Fog, 28 count or 32 count Lugana by Bestitch Me. And I'm just stitching this with DMC 336. My mother-in-law loved blue. It was her favorite color. Why can I not like center my fabric today in my camera or hold it level? There we go. Blue was my mother-in-law's favorite color. So I am stitching it on sort of a bluish grayish fabric with the blue floss in memory of her. And I will be recharting, like I said, recharting the words to something more like Always in Our Hearts or something else sort of more in a memorial piece style. So that is that one. All right, next up is a CC Cuties Jackalope by Bendy Stitchy. This was, I think, is available for full purchase now. It was originally available only to her patrons, but this is what it will look like. So a CC is a type of stitching where the stitching is the background, right? And the chart, the item design of the chart itself comes out in the negative space. So this is what it will look like when it is done. And this is where, get him right side up, he is now. So made a lot of progress on this one too. A lot of these smalls got a lot of work in February as part of the Whip Warriors February Smalls Challenge, which was basically just to work on as many smalls as you could, see how many you could finish. I finished Easter Kitty Moon and Mary's Doggo, which I shared in my last video, and then just got a bunch of work on a bunch of other ones. So this is where I am on the jackalope. Before I had sort of this side, his ears here, kind of down to around his tail done, and that was it. So everything else has been added since the last time I showed this to you. This is being stitched on a piece of 32 count Lugana in the color Sand Dollar by Bestitch Me. You'll notice I have a lot of 32 count Lugana from Bestitch Me. I used to be part of Brandy's Fabric of the Month Club, and still would be if I stitched fast enough to keep up with it, but I don't. So the fabric, I have so much fabric now, so I did cancel that membership a while ago, but love her fabrics. And then my last whip to show you this month is Chubby Bunny by Jeanette Douglas Designs. Again, part of the smalls. I am stitching this on the same Ada that I am stitching Hope Angel on. Sorry, my needle minder is tangled with some floss. And here's where this is now. So again, not a ton of work. I finished this yellow flower, added the purple flower, added these leaves here, and added this started this little part down at the bottom. Stitching this with all the called for DMC, or it might be the DMC conversion. It might be charted in Fancy Flosses, but I'm just doing the DMC conversion. So that is Chubby Bunny. And those are all of my whips to share with you this month. I do have some acquisitions to share. including one I forgot to share in last month's video. Oops. And then a little bit in terms of kind of my stitching plans for March. And then I always end my videos with what I've been reading, watching, and playing, a little bit of a life update. And so that's kind of what's left. So let me start with acquisitions. So two things, actually, now that I think about it, that I had for my last video and totally forgot to share with you. One of my Christmas gifts this year were a set of the DMC mini labels from Pip and Chip. So I really like the Atom Heart floss bobbins. And so I'm just kind of slowly working to kind of migrate flosses. When I run out of a skein that's on a paper bobbin, I am putting the next skein on an Atom Heart bobbin, and I bought these stickers to use because they are color coded and they're so cool. Well, I shouldn't say I bought, my parents bought them for me as a Christmas gift. So completely forgot to share those in my last video. So that was one recent acquisition. My other recent acquisition was I shared my Of Dragons and Apples Sal earlier by Maria of Quaternion Creations. Well, Maria paired with another a friend, and they wrote a book called The Emerging Queendom. And it is a collection of storytelling and cross-stitch charts that go along, sort of celebrating women, the strength of women, the strength of feminine wisdom. It is, I haven't stitched anything out of it yet, but there are several charts that I want to stitch. It is a gorgeous book. I believe I was part of the, I don't know what, I forget whether they used Kickstarter or one of those types of platforms that they use to help fund it. And I was at the level where I got a poster as part of it. So there I got this little poster. I got a bookmark. Love it so much. Stickers. These are going to be going in my bullet journal. They're so pretty. Love, love, love. This one is probably, it might be the first one I stitch because I love it. And then a little like postcard, note card of the same print. But let me, if you enjoy Maria's charts at all, definitely encourage you. I mean, they are just stunning. I'm obviously not going to show the charts, but there are mock-up, you know, there are pictures. I'm getting a glare. Stop. Okay, there we go. I mean, just gorgeous charts. And so each chart is accompanied by an original sort of folktale type story. And so you can read and stitch while you go. I'm not going to do, some people have done full flip throughs on their YouTube channels. So I'm not going to flood the content. If you're interested in seeing everything, definitely encourage you to check out one of those. Here's that chart that I said might be my first one just because I love the bird and just sort of everything around it. But it is just gorgeous and the quality is fantastic. Oh yeah, or this one, because if you've been around for any length of time, you know how I feel about dragons. So I need more dragons in my life. So we'll see about that. But yes, there's something like 15 or 16 charts in here. And Maria's style is just, I love her style. They're simple yet intricate, beautiful. And so, yeah, I mean, so this was something else that, again, I meant to share last month and completely forgot to because I'm silly. Here's another gorgeous chart. I love the pink and the black. So beautiful. So Emerging Queendom, definitely encourage you to look into it. The charts are stunning. The stories are just super cool. Hopefully me turning all these pages is not making a ton of noise on the video. Oh, and then this one too, because it has a kitty cat. So yeah, so Emerging Queendom, fantastic book, fantastic stories, fantastic charts, lots and lots of stitching to be had out of that book. So there it is. There are the names in case you are interested. Fantastic. And you can basically through the Facebook group, if you have purchased the book, you can join the Facebook group and request Maria to send you Pattern Keeper compatible versions of the charts. So you don't have to stitch them off the hard copy or like try and scan and upload them yourself. She will send you Pattern Keeper compatible charts if you ask for them. All right, 2 other acquisitions. One are the ones I mentioned earlier, which are the buttons to go with my Easter Kitty Moon chart. Sorry, can't get them open. So as I mentioned, the chart calls for a jelly bean and a flower. So this is the flower. This is the actual called for flower. They had that. I ordered these from 123 Stitch. And then, as I mentioned, the jelly bean they did not have in stock. I don't know if maybe it's not made anymore. That Easter Kitty Moon chart is probably not exaggerating to say decades old. I should have, if it wasn't buried under a pile of things, I would look to find out when it was printed. But so instead I got 2 Easter eggs, kind of different, slightly different colors of pink, just to see which one fits best with the chart. So we'll see and get those added, and then that chart will be for real done. Then my last acquisition in the last month, I went to the LNS, my local needlework shop, with my mother. Was it just last weekend? I guess it doesn't really matter. Between my last video and today. All I needed were 2 skeins of DMC. That's all I needed. Should have just sent my mom with the list of what I needed, because we walked in, they have a beautiful, right as you walk in, sort of a little area with lots and lots of models. And I saw a model that I just absolutely fell in love with and said I had to have, which in all honesty has been rare for me lately. I think I sort of, with all of my new starts and all of my stitching last year, kind of hit a point of like, ugh, no more new, right? Because like even needlework market taking place next weekend, all the new releases there, nothing has grabbed me this year. Just new charts weren't grabbing me, but this one did. It is Winter Woods by Satsuma Street. It is, I love it. I had never seen this before. It's not a brand new chart. At least I don't think it is. But my LNS had it stitched. I've never stitched anything by Satsuma Street before, so this is a new designer for me as well. And I not only bought the chart, but completely kitted it up that day. So what should have been like a $3 trip to my LNS turned into much more. The chart is charted in Cosmo flosses. So I did buy all of the Cosmo flosses that my LNS had in stock. They were missing 2 of them, so I have 2 still on order. But look at that gorgeous color palette. First off, I love Cosmo flosses. Like, I don't know how they do theirs, that they get like the sheen that I feel like DMC just doesn't quite have. But so I bought all the flosses, and then my LNS doesn't carry the called for fabric. And they also didn't have in stock the fabric that they stitched it on, but this is something similar. I purchased a cut of 36 count stream by Picture This Plus, I believe. Oops, that's the back side of the fabric. Which, there we go, that's kind of a true color, which I think will be beautiful. So I have not obviously started this yet. But I'm getting impatient about it. It's really beautiful. I want to start it. And so I think I may start it in March. And then, oh, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to have 2 new starts in March and 1 restart. My second new start in March is going to be the Empyrean Sal that Forbidden Fiber Co. is running. My kit is in the mail and should be arriving tomorrow or Tuesday. The border and sort of first part of the sal are already released, and then the next part releases on March 15th. So that will be my other new start in March. Sorry, Velcro. And then my restart is going to be my one full coverage piece. And the reason I'm restarting it in March is the Whip Warriors Facebook group has a March challenge called Lion and Lamb, and it is a full coverage challenge where you are challenged to get just as much done on a or as many full coverages as you want kind of challenge. So basically, if you have more than one, it's 1,000 stitches per chart. Or if you only have one, just as much as you can. I only have one full coverage, and it's this adorable little guy right here that Jen, the backcountry stitcher, completely enabled me into starting because she stitched him, and I just, like, every time she showed him, I couldn't even. He was just too cute. So I did finally purchase the chart and decide to start stitching him. I started him on a 28 count Monaco, stitching him 1/1. And I got this far, and I hated it. I hated stitching on it. I hated stitching on the fabric. It is too starchy. The 28 count, I think, is too small. It was shredding my floss. I was just not enjoying stitching on it at all. I was like, there is no way I'm going to do, 100 and some odd thousand more stitches of this on this chart. I despised it. I love the chart and despised my fabric choice. So I am restarting this month. I purchased some 25 count Aida and just in a white. And I'm just gonna, I don't know why I'm showing the fabric. It's white Aida, woo! But I purchased, actually, I don't even think it's 25 count. I think it's 20 count. It's just a 20 count white Aida. And I'm restarting. The fabric is much softer. I think it will be kinder to my floss. And I think that I will just enjoy it a lot more. So this will be a restart for me in March as part of that challenge. And I'm going to see if I can get 1,000 stitches in. That's my goal. So that I can meet the sort of terms of the challenge. And I'm hopeful I'll be able to, because I feel like with better fabric, I'll have more fun stitching on it. And it will hopefully go faster. So that is all of the stitching I have to share for you. In terms of my March plans, other than restarting Drake Warrior Kitty and starting the Empyrean Sal, the Whip Go numbers this month, interestingly, I guess I should back up. For those of you maybe new to FlossTube, newer to stitching, Whip Go is a game put together by Jessie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's basically you put together a bingo board. Each month she calls two numbers. If 13, the free square, gets called, then she'll call a third number. And you can build your board however you like. So some people put specific projects on that board. Some people put sort of specific goals, and then they pick the project to meet the goal. This year I did categories. I kind of looked at my charts and kind of what I wanted to work on this year, and I think I put together 7 or 8 different categories. And so each month it's a category, and then I get to choose which chart within that category is kind of calling to me at the moment, which so far is working pretty well. Interestingly, in March, the 2 numbers called were both the category Quaker. So I hemmed and hawed for a little bit and decided that I'm just picking one Quaker to start. Oops. And I forgot to bring the chart down with me, but it is Enchanted Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts. And I'm going to stitch my 500 stitches on that and then decide whether I'm loving it and I want to keep going on that one or if I want to switch to a different Quaker. So I'll be working on Quakers in March, or at least a Quaker in March as part of that. I already mentioned the Lion and Lamb challenge in the Whip Warriors Facebook group that I'll be restarting Drake Warrior Kitty for that. I'll be participating in categories, though I honestly haven't even looked. I think I looked to what the letters are. I don't remember what they are. So I'll be putting that together as well. And otherwise, just really enjoying working on my whips. I am trying to finish 25 whips this year. I have 3 finishes so far, and hoping to get one more in March. So yeah, that's my stitching update. If that's all you're here for, then I bid you farewell and on to your next video or whatever is next in your day for you. And thank you so much for spending some time with me. As I mentioned, would love for you to subscribe if you are new here and liked what you saw. If you're interested in kind of a quick life update, let's roll into that. So as I mentioned at the top of the video, I kind of provide my life update in kind of what I've been reading, watching, and playing. My kids and I really enjoy watching anime together, playing video games together. And so that's kind of a lot of, if I'm not doing sports or at work or stitching, I'm typically reading, watching something with my kids, or playing a video game. So in the month of February, sorry, I'm getting my bullet journal out to remind myself what I was reading and watching and playing in February. So in February, I was reading Onyx Storm, right? So I did finish Onyx Storm. You will get no spoilers here. I enjoyed it. I wasn't as irate about the ending as a lot of other people were. I'm finding myself more curious about the ending. It left a lot of unanswered questions, which gets the theories rolling in your brain about what actually happened here. And does Violet know? Did she agree to the things that happened at the end, or did she not? I don't know. Listen, they're not high literature, but I thoroughly enjoy the Empyrean series. I enjoyed the book. I continue to read Haikyuu, the manga that the anime is based off of, about the high school boys volleyball team. Love it so much. I know that my last episode sort of turned into the let's rave about Haikyuu and also talk about cross stitch video, so I won't rave about it anymore now. But I am on chapter 190 something out of 300 chapters. So I am well close to 2/3 of the way through the series. I also listened to the audiobook of Over the Top by Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. And I didn't even know he'd had an autobiography. I mentioned that I was watching Queer Eye to one of my coworkers who asked if I had read his book. I was like, didn't even know he had a book. It was good. Boy's been through a lot, and was very vulnerable in the autobiography, which I appreciated. If you like Queer Eye, if you like Jonathan Van Ness, might be worth your read, but definitely, and they give trigger warnings at the beginning of the book, lots and lots of trigger warnings, potentially triggering things in the book. Girl has lived and has overcome, which and talked about a lot of really vulnerable things. I appreciated the book. And now I have finally turned back to What's Next, the behind the scenes book about The West Wing, the television show The West Wing. So I'm about 30% through that as well, kind of alternating between listening to it on audiobook and reading the copy I have at home. That's what I've been reading. In terms of watching, I've been watching a lot of stuff. So as I've mentioned, if you've been here before, you know my kids and I really, really love anime, and the winter season. So new seasons of shows have started. So we're watching a lot. So in terms of shows that are currently releasing new episodes, currently in their season, we're watching The Apothecary Diaries, which I've talked about here before. One of my all-time favorite anime. Highly feminist, highly entertaining. The main character, Mao Mao, is just chef's kiss. She's fabulous. Love that show. I'm collecting the manga. I'm collecting the light novel. I am absorbing this content in every way that it is available. Love it. Also watching Solo Leveling. My son and I watch that together. My daughter and I watch Apothecary Diaries. Second season it's rocking, y'all. It's a good show. Love it. Also watching Dragon Ball Daima with my son. So those are the three sort of anime that I am watching with my kids. I am also re-watching Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I raved about it enough that my daughter finally decided she wanted to watch it. So I am now watching it for the second time. Netflix actually just got Frieren. So if you're interested at all, but you don't have Crunchyroll, which is the only place Frieren, I believe, was available before, it is now on Netflix. Highly recommended. It's a slow burn, but the story is beautiful. It is about sort of learning to honor and treasure people while you still have them. And the animation is beautiful. It's beautiful story, beautiful show. Cannot recommend it highly enough. It is outstanding. Very, very good. And then I am also watching, on a recommendation from someone, an anime called Mr. Villain's Day Off. And it is perhaps the most charming slice of life anime I have ever watched. It is only a single season. It is only 12 episodes. I have, I think, 2 episodes left. And it's sort of what it sounds like. He is an alien living on Earth who his work mission is to infiltrate the planet, destroy all the humans, and take over Earth for his kind. But the anime is focused on what he does on his days off. They have excellent work-life integration, apparently, in this alien culture, and his days off are sacred to him. He does not work on his days off. And then sort of a sideline, there is a group called the Rangers that are charged with protecting Earth from this alien infiltration. And it's charming. He is obsessed with pandas and cats, and enjoys trying new foods from his local Hope Mart convenience store. And again, it's another sort of slow-paced one, but it is absolutely charming. So charming. Highly recommend as well. And then the last couple things, Survivor, new season of Survivor has started. My son and I watched Survivor together. Oh my gosh, if you could hear that, he's just screaming. Okay, good thing this video is almost over. So we are watching the new season of Survivor, and I am playing the Whip Warrior Survivor game as well. So there are a few whips that I am working on specifically as relates to things that happen in each episode of Survivor. And then my son and I also enjoy watching cooking shows together. So we are watching an old season, like 5-6 seasons ago, of Worst Cooks in America. And we are also watching the new, currently airing season of Next Level Chef. So lots of sort of watching going on. Oh, and I didn't write it down. We also started watching Dragon Prince again in February. The last 2 seasons were dropped last year, and we never got around to watching them. And so we've watched the penultimate season, and now we're 1 or 2 episodes into the final season right now. Also an excellent show. And in terms of playing video games, I've been on a Zelda kick. I think I mentioned in my last video, I got Zelda Echoes of Wisdom for Christmas and was playing it just hardcore, continued to in February, and actually beat the game in February. So it was charming. It was cool. I liked it. It was a very different style from the, so Echoes of Wisdom, you actually play as Zelda. It's the first game where you play as Zelda instead of as Link. I enjoyed it. I felt that it was an easier game than the Link-led games. The animation was simpler and cuter. I think it was developed more to be targeted at younger players. I did struggle a bit with wondering whether it was also meant to be targeted to female players, and if the game was made I found the game to be much easier overall than the Link-centric games. And I struggled a bit with wondering if it was easier because, like, if there was a gender issue in there, right? I strive to keep politics out of my channel. It invades every other part of our lives, and we should be paying attention to it. But not my channel. My channel, I want to keep focused on light and happy things because we need those right now. We always need them, but here in the US, we definitely need them right now. But anyway, so Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, beat that game. My son and I started a new world in Minecraft. So we played some Minecraft together. We tend to start a new world each year. We never actually beat the game. We just play. We build houses, we explore, we mine, we try to do crazy things. The one year my daughter also played in the world with us, we built like an Assassin's Creed style leap of faith out of our little compound of homes that we built for ourselves. Like, we do crazy things. So we started a new Minecraft world. And I started playing Tears of the Kingdom again, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom again, which was the game that I had gotten stuck on and frustrated about. And so that's why I went to go play Echoes of Wisdom instead. But now I'm back to Tears of Kingdom. I'm still stuck where I was, so kind of abandoned that quest for right now, and am now just kind of looking for shrines and playing around and doing side quests and just kind of doing other things right now until I decide that I'm ready to go back and try the boss that I was stuck on again. So that is what I was reading, watching, and playing in the month of February. Otherwise, in February, my daughter and I went to an admitted students day at one of the colleges that she's been admitted to. She really liked it. I think it's pretty high on her list right now. We're waiting to hear from a few more schools. So May 1st is the sort of national deadline in the United States for submitting your deposit and choosing the school that you're going to attend. So we're getting closer. And as I mentioned earlier, softball season is picking up. My daughter is a senior this year, I guess, obviously, since we're looking at colleges. She was hoping to make varsity this year, and she sort of did. The coaches this year decided that they are creating a new position called a flex player. So my daughter, one of the other senior girls, and then a couple of 2 or 3 other sophomore and junior girls are flex players. And so they'll be actually bouncing back and forth between varsity and junior varsity, sort of depending on teams being played, needs. It's brand new. They've never done this before. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it will be fine. I just the questions we had about how it's going to work, how much notice we're going to have about when she's playing and where, sort of, they're still figuring it out. So stay tuned. My son has an indoor soccer tournament next weekend. His team is playing at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. I don't know what masochist created this tournament schedule, but yeah, so that ought to be fun. And then the championship games are the next day, hopefully not in the morning because these kids will be exhausted. But that's kind of my life. It's work, it's stitching, it's reading, it's watching TV, it's going to sporting events with my kids. But life is good. March is a big month for us. We are going to a concert in a couple of weeks. We are going to Fan Expo towards the end of the month here in Cleveland. I'm going to get to meet David Tennant and Catherine Tate. I am beyond excited about that. So yeah, lots going on. So we'll see how much stitching I get done in March, but hopefully enough to be worth showing you all in another few weeks. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much if you have stuck all the way through to the end. I hope that you will like the video. I hope that you will comment. I do answer every comment that I receive. I love to engage with the people who watch my videos. I'd love to know what you're stitching on. Anything that you want to share about what's going on in your life. I am over on Instagram, theoretically. I'm not great about posting, but you can find me over there as well at the 20-Minute Stitcher there too. I will end as I always do. Thank you so much for watching. Hug your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Happy stitching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.